Before we jump in, I wanted to show you guys real quick the display that I'm using. This is a 70-inch ViewSonic display. It's an interactive one. And so it's touchscreen, and I'm going to do a whole bunch of stuff with it. But one of the cool things that it does is if you hold 2 fingers on right here, it'll let you annotate. So I can actually like draw all over the screen in multiple colors. Watch this. This is cool. Oh, there we go. It knows the side of your hand and it will help you, like, hey, Michelle, will help you erase that way. So, and then whenever you're done, if you hit the little cloud button, it will, brace yourselves, save a screenshot of all of this to your Google Drive automatically. So anyway, this is awesome to be able to do these presentations on these displays because they've got really neat features. So, okay. So anyhow, without further ado, let me see if I can back out of this real quick. View. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So a couple of things that are going on with Google that have kind of come around here recently that I wanted to show you. And I went over a bunch of these on my blog. I wrote a post called 7 Big Google Changes and How They Help Educators. So I'm going to show you like 3 or 4 of them here. And the first one I want to show you is schedule to Google Classroom. Do any of you use Google Classroom? Yeah? Okay. All right. So if you use Google Classroom, this is something that teachers have been clamoring for literally for a long time because you could post an assignment, you could post an announcement in the moment, you could write them and save them, but you couldn't schedule them to publish on their own later. Well, now you can do that. And so I could set up an entire week's worth of assignments and announcements just sitting in one sitting, type it out, schedule it, and then get all of them ready to go all at once. And so the way that looks, I want to show you one of Alice Keeler's posts because she's got some really good screenshots of how this looks. Okay, so this will probably look familiar right here. If you want to create a new assignment or announcement, you tap on the little plus button and you've got all these options. And so once you click on an assignment or an announcement, you've got the down arrow. And see, here's what it looks like once you create it. You type all the information in, and then you hit the down arrow for assign. Instead of actually hitting assign, you hit schedule. So now that's an option. So you hit schedule. Nice shirt, by the way. Love that. If you hit schedule, it gives you a date and a time, and so you can schedule when it is. So I could envision, on Monday, figuring out what all your assignments are for the whole week, if you know what they all are going to be, and then just typing them all out, schedule it. I want this one to go live at 8:15 a.m. I want this one to go live at 10:30 a.m. on Thursday, and just get all of those knocked out all at once. So that's a newer option that came out not too long ago, is to schedule Google Classroom posts. So if you didn't know about that, that's kind of a game changer for some teachers. Okay, so there's that. Another one I want to show you, number 2, is slides Q&A. And so if you do present with slides, like if you have students that present, or if you do your own presentations to students, what's really neat about this is, let me just show you how it works. We come over here. This is just a slide presentation. These are slides for a session I do at conferences sometimes. And so if I hit this little, because this is the present button, if I hit this little down arrow, I now have presenter view. And it gives me this little window. And so if I have my computer set up and I'm projecting my slides on a different display, I can have this over here on my computer and I can watch it. Now what's cool about this is I can hit start new here. And now, look, I've got this, let's move this out of the way. I've got this little banner across the top. So if I'm doing a presentation to a group of students, or if students are doing presentations to each other or whatever, they've got their own devices out. They can go right there. They can pose questions for me to answer later. And so if we come over here, this is where the questions would appear if somebody did that. Now what's neat about that is if somebody poses you a question and it shows up here, there is the option to make that question go full screen over here. You don't have to create a new slide for it. It just says to to be able to put that question right over here. So if I want to address that question, I stick it up here, I can talk about it, and then I can move right back to my slides, which is pretty cool. So that's another neat layer of the whole presentation slides idea to give you more interaction with your group. So that one is number 2, slides Q&A. And actually, I want to show you one other really neat thing. This is kind of a, let's see if I can back out of this real fast. This is a little thing, but it's still kind of fun. What you can do is, let's go back to this. Here we go. I'll close that out for a second. Check this little zigzag down here out. You know what this is? Well, why did it go away? Come back. There it is, the zigzag. The zigzag is a laser pointer. And you're thinking, okay, if you don't have a laser pointer, yeah, like that. Yeah, exactly. Watch this. If you have a mouse, it converts your little cursor into a laser pointer. So if I want to circle something, it's just different than the arrow, and it makes it a little bit easier to see. So another neat little thing was, oh, if you're pairing from a tablet, I don't know. I mean, with this, yeah, I'm doing that. I think that it would work either with this or with a touchpad on your computer. Yeah. So do you know? Huh? With the touchpad, it does work? Okay. All right. Very good. All right. That's why I'm glad you're in the audience. I've got a backup layer in case I don't know the answer. Okay. The next one I want to show you, I've got 2 more real quick ones to show you, is to set sharing permissions to expire. This is something that you can do within Google for Education. So if you have a document and you want to give your students permission to view that document or to edit that document, and you don't want them to have permission to view it forever, you can now set it up. Let me show you what so we can kind of see this. Let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger. It's a little bit grainy, but what you can do is you can set it so that at a certain time and a certain date, see, here we go, we're going to click on it and hit share. We're going to share it with a specific person. And then under advanced, you have the option to, there's a little stopwatch there. And it shows, do you want to share it for 7 days? Do you want to share it for 30 days? Do you want a custom amount of time? And so that way, if you want it's like if you want them to have it for 7 days to prepare for a test, you take the test and then all of a sudden, those permissions just expire, and then they're over and they can't access the document anymore. So that's only available for Google for Education and Google for Business. So if you have your own personal Gmail account and you want to do that through Google Apps, you can't do that yet. So another nice thing that Google is making available for us educators. Okay, one more thing. This isn't new, but something that you can do with it is new. This is Google Keep. Is anybody familiar with Google Keep? Okay, all right. If you've never seen it before, Google Keep is basically like Google's version of sticky notes. Is anybody like me and you've got sticky notes all over your desk and all over your monitor and everything? The problem I found is if I had these sticky notes on my desk at my computer or at my school, I would go home and I wouldn't have access to any of my sticky notes. So I started using Google Keep instead. And you can access it from your computer, create these little notes. And so if I create a note, I can put a title on it, I can put text in it, I can color code it, I can add a tag to it. I mean, there's a million different things. I can share it with a specific person. I can even tie a reminder to it. So if I want it to give me my phone or my computer a little reminder to say, hey, you need to do something with this note, I can set that reminder specifically to that. I can do it from there. There are also apps. See if I can show you. Here's my Google Keep app. And so there are all of my little notes right there. Even the little, I think the blue one, okay, it's updating right now. But so yeah, you have these available on your phone. Now the nice thing about this is that you can save all of that information onto those little sticky notes really quick. And a new feature with all of this makes it even easier to do that. And that is the Google Keep Chrome extension. So if you're not familiar with what Chrome extensions are, they're like little programs that live in your Google Chrome browser. And so my Keep extension, Okay, it's not up there. I'll have to make sure for the next presentation that it's up there. But it just looks like a little light bulb, and it comes up here. And all you have to do is tap on that one little icon. And for whatever website you're looking at, it automatically saves that website into your Google Keep. So I did it with this. Like that, that video. I watched it. I knew I wanted to hang on to it. So I clicked on my little Google Keep Chrome extension button, and instantly it saved that link, and then there's a preview of it. And so if you're ever browsing the web and you want a nice way, a good place to collect all of those websites and all those ideas together, you can use your Google Keep Chrome extension to pull all that stuff in. So, questions about that? Questions about anything? So I've given you 4 things so far. Those are kind of the big ones here in this post. So anyway, just new things that if you didn't know about, maybe you've heard something here that you hadn't heard before. So, yes. Yeah, for the most part, yeah. Now I've heard some people. Sorry. Limitations, yeah. I think that if you look at the core set of Google apps for education, Keep isn't part of that, but some teachers are still continuing to use it because the kids are able to go out and use it. So anyway, in some instances, it's sort of, sorry? Oh, Spaces would be, yeah, that's true. Spaces is another new thing. I can show you that here in a second when we wrap up. I'm glad you brought that up. So so yeah, that's a good question. Anything else before I wrap up? I want to show you one more thing real fast before you go. I've got something free for you, and it's this. I wrote this free ebook. It's called 101 Practical Ways to Ditch That Textbook. I know I'm always looking for ways to include technology, creativity, innovation in my class. And so this is just a huge brainstorm of a whole bunch of those ideas into ebook form. And it's got screenshots and icons and links and all sorts of good stuff there. So if you're interested in getting that, you can go here because there's other stuff. I've got another ebook there and some links from presentations that I do. So if you go to getmattstuff.com, it'll send all that stuff right into your email inbox if you want to check that out. Good enough? All right. Well, thank you all so much for being here.